Hello everyone, this is Stacy and Chris from punkradiocast.com, and today we're talking to the Martyr Index at the Palomino on the last day of Sled Island 2008. We just watched you guys as well as Fucked Up today at Sled Island, and we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your album that just came out called Molotov Rocktail. I believe that you just released your 12-inch vinyl today, is that correct?
Right there. Imagine that.
How's it going so far?
Just came off tour a little while ago, just down the west coast to San Francisco and back. I don't know, shredded my vocal cords, we all got sick. Big time. Yeah.
I know that your singer had food poisoning yesterday.
So everybody give a hand up to Jenny for actually coming down even though she's got food poisoning. Thank you very much, Jenny.
Today.
Today?
She woke up this morning. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, she was fully barfing this morning. So she put on a brave face. That's why she's not here for this interview. She went home, went to bed.
You guys promote concerts to help fund worker cooperatives, is that correct? In your band?
Oh yeah, we've done that before in the past.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You still do that?
It's, you know, I think it's a responsibility of any, like, community conscious band to do that once in a while, like, to at least support the causes that you hold dear, you know, on a relatively regular basis, but, you know, we also play the regular shows too.
And the city's culture is important to any band, you know? If there's any sort of underground, it's really important to us. I don't think we'd be a band that could survive in a city without an underground, you know?
What can you share with me about how life in Calgary inspired or affected your music and how it came out on your album?
Well, we got a song called Calgary Libre on the album, and it's, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like a love-hate relationship with the city, you know? The politics in the city are fucked up, but I love the city, you know? Like, there's something about this place. Every time we go on tour and I come back, I feel like I'm home again, you know? It's my city.
Basically, the song is an homage to how anything that you really love, like any place that's really home, you're gonna have a love and hate relationship with. And Calgary is a big money town. There's a lot of oil money. There's a lot of sort of upper class, you know, business class kind of mentality. There's people driving around in SUVs with only one occupant, no carpooling. You know, it's not there's a lot of things we'd like to change about Calgary, but just because it doesn't have all the things that we want about it, it's still home, and we would rather try and change the things that we don't like about it than give up on the things that we do.
How do you feel that your sound has changed from your previous full-length release, 1936, back in 2002?
It's a lot more focused.
You want to go on that?
I was in the band. That's true. James actually joined after that, and that's a big change. It's like the band is almost entirely different members. I would say it's a little bit more of a focused, straightforward, like hard rock sound. We sort of did away with a lot of things that were extraneous.
Become more rock rather than more punk?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like butt rock. That's how I describe it. Yeah.
There's still I think there's still a punk energy underneath it, but it's definitely not punk music.
Yeah, we all come from a punk background, so you can't erase that, and to pretend that it doesn't exist would be absurd, right? But at the same time, like, I've been listening to butt rock since I was in junior high. You know, like shit like Crew and AC/DC and stuff like that, so it's gonna be in there, you know. And I think when I was writing punk music and recording punk music, I think I was repressing it a little to a certain extent, you know, because it wasn't cool.
There's still punk shades in it. I think there's still shades of the Clash. There's still shades of Stiff Little Fingers, but they're buried beneath layers of AC/DC and Thin Lizzy.
Now, your new album was released digitally through Meter Records. You're on the Meter Records label. What are your guys' thoughts on the full licensing for free downloads?
Well,
man, that's
a
can of worms.
It's a complicated question because, you know, it's an attempt to redefine how people use and consume music. The major label model is changing. Like, it can't stay the same.
It's bullshit too. It's never really benefited bands ever. You know, like, the industry keeps adapting every time bands find a way to make it on their own, and then co-opt that, and then they seize the industry and find some way to make a profit off of it again. You know, it's cyclical. And I think that that's what all the copyright legislation shit is going on right now too. You know, it's an attempt on behalf of the majors to actually make a play at making the industry as profitable as it was before. You know, and it's gonna sap the indies out of it again. You know, but the truth is that a musician writes a song, you want to perform it to people, you want people to come out and see your music, you want people to hear it, and you've never really made money on it anyway. You know, like it's something you do because you're passionate about it and you love it. And if you happen to make a living off of it, then you're one of the lucky few, and good for you. But don't make everybody else. Don't persecute your fans for wanting to share your music or anything like that. You know, like I think that it's essential and crucial that music get around freely. Otherwise, we're going to choke our own culture, and we're going to realize that there's almost nothing left except garbage, you know, that's like commercially viable as lawyers deem it, you know. So
well, the all rights reserved copyright has had its time. Like it was designed essentially to protect the industry, corporations who owned the copyrights to certain music, or at least owned a portion of the publishing rights, to protect them versus people who would steal it or use it for, you know, purposes that would steal profits from them. So the Creative Commons copyright has existed since copyright law was invented, and it protects whoever created the art versus anyone who would take advantage of it, except for the fans. Like, because the fans are the people you don't want to, you know, prevent from having your music and sharing your music and, you know, playing it for their friends. And, you know, that's how music spreads. I mean, because it's like any other culture in the collective consciousness, right? It's like, it's something that's pervasive. I mean,
yeah, it's viral. It's like how Metallica became one of the biggest metal bands that ever existed because of bootleg tapes and stuff like that, and then they go and they shut down Napster, you know, once they're all of a sudden like a super profitable band. But they became that band because their fans were fanatical. They were fans.
And everyone saw how that hurt them too.
Yeah. Get nothing against touring Canada, but it's like why trade travels north and south too. You know, like it's easy to get down there, and there's a lot of good stuff going on. You know, despite the fact that the U.S. is really fucked up right now politically. And there's one thing that we noticed was America's scared right now. We would meet like people who are totally progressive in every aspect of their life, and then as soon as immigration of Mexican immigrants, undocumented migrants came up, people were like just psycho, like saying the most reactionary shit, and they had been saying something progressive just before that. You know, like I think the media's got America scared of Mexicans running the economy, when the fact is that George Bush totally trashed their economy on the Iraq War, you know, and it's a really messed up kind of place right now, you know. Like I think people are looking for someone to blame shit on, and they're blaming it on the wrong people.
What's coming up next for the Martyr Index?
Actually, we're James is actually going to Mexico for a while, so we're going to be sort of, I think, moving a little bit slowly, doing, you know, mostly promotion work for the record and stuff like that. We might we haven't decided yet whether we're going to play with a temporary member, but that's a possibility, just for a little while James is away. We don't want to slow up too much, so you'll see us around.